Ariana, what are you doing here?
Hey, I'm Zainab.
And I'm Mia.
And welcome to another episode of Sprinkles and Spice.
And respect to the law, respect to Allah.
And respect to Allah.
I am on Onaija Talk. Onaija has been carrying me for the past 2 weeks.
We are all on Onaija Talk. She's been carrying everyone.
She's been carrying Pakistan on her back.
And now we have season 2 of Onaija
In Dubai.
Dubai.
No, Dubai's.
Dubai's.
Dubai. Doobayz. Dubai's.
But she kills me.
She's gonna go to
She
jail.
owns the internet.
She's gonna go to jail. You think she's gonna survive Dubai?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how she's going to survive Dubai, though.
I want to go to Dubai and see her so bad. Me, I'm a fan. Me, I have no shame.
Do you know that she had a lineup of men in Pakistan wanting to marry her?
Why wouldn't they?
Did you know that she was catfishing the guy
Yeah,
with
of
the
course.
Nicki Minaj filter?
Wait, it was the Nicki Minaj
It was
filter?
the Nicki Minaj filter.
I thought it, okay, so I heard it was a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. That's
No.
why like the concealer on top was so white.
White. No, it was the Nicki Minaj filter with blonde hair.
No, stop.
And she was talking to him with that filter.
And he thought he was talking to Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
He probably didn't know it was Nicki Minaj. The fact that he's 19 and she's 33. First of all,
First of all,
Onaija-
she looks rough.
I thought she was in her 50s.
Same. I don't want to woman shame. I'm not here to shame a woman or her looks, but Onaija, please.
I think it's the eyebrows.
I think she needs retinol. I think my girl needs a good retinol.
Somebody needs to recommend retinol to her. But honestly, kudos, Onaija. You have been giving us the content that we deserve.
No, but the videos of her in Dubai being filmed by people, like
Yeah.
she's doing the weirdest dance moves. I don't know what she's saying, and
I know.
I just is she okay?
You know, sometimes like you see, I don't know where she is in Dubai, but
In a random corridor.
not just a random corridor, but like, have you seen videos of her on the streets with an entourage around her? And you see a smirk on her face
Yeah,
because
yeah,
this woman knows what she's doing. She knows the power. She knows the chokehold that she has everyone in.
Also, I just want to say this proves that Delulu is the way, because this woman was in the slums apparently,
Yeah,
and she had the whole press at her feet.
literally.
She had the government being like, "Oh my God, we have to make sure she's okay." Are you joking
And
me?
then people were taking care of her. People wanted to take care of her.
And she was saying things like, "I'm not going nowhere till y'all get me $10,000." What? I could be living like this? I love her. She's my president.
Onaija for president.
Of what? President of what? We still don't know.
Of delusions. Can we take a moment
What?
to talk about Lady Gaga,
Lady Jaja?
Lady Jaja, and the comeback that we were waiting for? Lady Gaga is back full force with like, this is Gaga. This is like
This is meat dress energy.
the Gaga-isms that we want, that we missed the 2016 or actually like earlier probably.
20,
Gaga.
I feel like 2012, 2013, like when she was peak like Gagaing.
It was so good.
Mhm.
Abracadabra, abracadabra. And you know what? Like one thing I really do love about Gaga is like she gets down and dirty. Like she doesn't care. First of all, she loves a dance number.
Mhm.
I know Gaga wanted to be a dancer so bad because she always has these like sequences where she's like in a dance class. Maybe she was. I mean, she's a theater kid, but like she loves a dance break. She loves dance routines. But the video is phenomenal.
And I would argue she's one of the performers that I think is the most natural at dancing. Like
Yeah.
I think when I look at her, I'm like, I feel like you don't struggle to learn. Like I love Dua Lipa, but she really had to learn how to move.
Yeah, but I think Gaga, I'm sure, probably had some like dance lessons.
I bet she was a
She's also
ballerina or
like a
something.
theater kid, so
Yeah. Also, she's
You
from New
know.
York, so
yeah, she really is New York.
she's so
I
nice.
love me some Gaga. I really do. I love her so much. I can't deny it.
What else is happening in the music scene? Oh my, well, Kendrick. I'll never be over that.
If
Serena.
if hating someone was a person, It'd be Kendrick.
If winning the pettiness war
He's a
could be,
Gemini, though. I can't believe he's a Gemini, right?
I don't know, but like
His pettiness is like on the same level as a Sagittarius' pettiness, though.
I
I
think
want to know what his chart is. I feel like we could find
yeah,
Sagittarius
but
in there.
bringing Serena, diabolical.
Yeah.
That's Drake's ex, y'all. That's
Yeah.
diabolical. He does so much for the culture.
Culture for the culture. Actually, there are a lot of like Easter eggs in his performance. They were so good. Like a lot of TikToks are breaking it down. But by the time this episode comes out, unfortunately, it would have probably been a long time past since the performance. Or what do you think?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
of weeks. But it's I think one of the best Super Bowl halftime performances we've seen. I know some people are like, "Oh, it was boring." You're either Drake fans or racists, or it went over your head. Like the whole performance went over your head.
Dr. Dre was better.
What? Did you not like it, Tarek?
I didn't watch it.
There you go.
I don't watch football.
No one watches football. We
Nobody
watch
watches it, but everybody watches the halftime.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Anyways,
Yeah.
did you see Pete Davidson for Reformation?
No.
Okay, we're gonna take a break to watch.
Hey, you may know me from stuff. For the past few years, the one thing that's given me a space to collect myself.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Millie. It's gluten-free.
Aw.
Has been coming in here a couple times a week and being the perfect boyfriend.
Wow, you look amazing. You should definitely get that.
Yes, I'm someone's boyfriend and I take that seriously. It's important to show emotional support.
I wrote a letter about my feelings. Maybe we could read them together.
Reliability.
Your macadamia matcha.
Oh, is that
Line wasn't bad at all. I'm still thinking about that dream you told me the other day. You should write those down.
Loyalty.
I really want to drive you to the airport. I booked 3 places for dinner tonight. Or I could cook.
It's an accumulation of things.
Oh, could I put that on my card, please?
Make her a hot water bottle for when her tummy hurts. Put the seat down.
I can't believe she said that.
Don't tell her to
I
relax
think someone's ready to meet Mom.
or try to fix her. Say you're sorry. Actually, most of the time, don't say anything at all.
You know what? You were right. Peace.
Bye, Pete. See you on
Later.
Wednesday.
It's honest work, and somebody's got to do it.
What the F did I just watch? Nobody's the perfect boyfriend to what? Hundreds of women?
Yes. No, but okay, listen. So first of all, he disappeared for like 45 years. Like he disappeared.
he's been MIA for a while.
Yeah. The last I heard, I think he was seeing Maddie Klein or something. So I was like, okay, like you're low key now. You've disappeared. Back for Reformation. First of all, I didn't even
The
know
perfect boyfriend.
I didn't even know Reformation did men's. But second of all, like low key, I
Wait,
kind of
is
like
it is it a men's line or is he just saying that like I'm the perfect boyfriend? I sit and wait for my girlfriend.
I think he's saying that, but also, what if it's also an introduction to potentially a men's Reformation? I don't know.
Maybe
Could
I
be.
don't know. Yeah, but why do I know that Pete Davidson's attachment style is probably anxious? I have a feeling his attachment style is
100%.
anxious.
100%. But also, this leads us to today's topic.
Today's topic. Look at that. Look at that segue. Smooth.
We are professionals.
Professional podcasters. Professional yappers, actually. One thing we know how to do.
Not shut up.
Yep. Shanice,
Never.
Your mouth is moving like a rat.
Yappa, 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 yappa.
Shut it, please. My favorite thing.
Lives in my head rent free.
Thank you, Shanice.
Me, some days of the week, looking at people. Look at me trying to be discreet. Hold up. Let me throw this pillow out the way. It's hitting my back. It's
Let me get Tariq's
Sibha shot?
Sibha. I found. Okay, we're good. I found Tariq's Sibha on the couch, and now it's mine.
I
and it's
can
part
be
of this
a
episode.
Muslim baby.
We need to stop this. Is there an off
We
button?
can never
Please.
stop.
All right, let's get into today's topic.
Attachment styles.
Our favorite topic. I feel like it's been talked about a lot in the past few years. Like it's definitely a conversation that's been on the rise.
We
Don't you
started
think?
talking about it about it to each other, like, look, oh, I think this person is anxious. I think this person's avoidant. And then I'm like, I think he's a dismissive avoidant. Like, we just love analyzing people.
I know it's so good, but it's crazy how like like I don't think we knew about attachment style like 5-6 years ago, even though I knew it was around. But I wonder when like this research started, because now we have like attachment theory and like a lot of people coming out and talking about it. I know it's probably like been
old.
It's old.
But it's resurfacing.
It's resurfacing
Yeah.
now, and I think more and more people are talking about it. So let's get into it. I think for those of you who don't know, we're just going to do a brief overview of what each style is. So there's 4 attachment styles.
Mhm.
Number 1 is secure.
Which we all should aspire to be. And then there's
I mean, yeah, that's like the prom king or queen.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
person that you want to be.
that's A-list.
That's like,
And
yeah.
then the B-listers are so how are you gonna refer to that? Your your B-list. The B-list are the anxious
So yeah, they're
or the
the
avoidant.
3. There's actually 3 insecure styles,
There's
which is
the
anxious,
avoidant.
dismissive avoidant,
Yeah, dismissive
and then
avoidance.
fearful avoidant, which fearful avoidant is a mix of anxious and
Avoidant.
dismissive avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they call
or
it
sometimes they call it
disorganized. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
disorganized. Yeah. Before we start, Mia's opening some pro collagen puffs.
Yeah.
Which
so-
ones did you get? The coconut ones? Oof, let me get some collagen. I really love the coconut ones. They're very interesting.
Mm.
Honestly, something that I love about pro life is like they put the most unconventional flavors in a puff.
I know.
Like sour cream and onion puff. What do you mean?
Babe, spicy pizza puff.
Puff? Coconut puff?
Mm. I just love saying puff.
Mm-hmm. So for this episode, I was doing research because we are women in STEM after all.
Every week we keep convincing people, and I don't think anyone's convinced, but sure.
So I found this attachment expert. Her name is Thais Gibson. I think I don't know if I'm saying it right. But she has a PhD, and if you guys want to follow her account, she talks all about like attachment styles and dealing with different attachment styles. And she's also a best-selling author. She has a book. Her latest book that came out is called Learning Love, which is basically about understanding and healing attachment styles. But basically, she describes it as like the beliefs that you pick up from childhood about who we are and what relationships look like. And mostly you pick them up from your like primary caregivers, and they form primarily the relationship we have to ourselves as well. So it's not only how you are in relationships, it's also how you perceive yourself. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's insane. But also it makes sense because, like, again, sociologically speaking, the first 3 years of your life are the most important.
You know, that's crazy because she says, because she was like, you actually are conditioned with these attachment styles from the age of 0 to 2.
Yeah, I
Like
believe it.
as young as 0 to 2.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is insane.
Like I thought you are conditioned to your attachment style like probably maybe like 4 or 5, even older.
No,
Like I
because-
didn't think it was 0 to 2. As young as 0 to 2
But
is
you
crazy.
see it in babies, right?
Yeah.
Babies are so intelligent, and some of them are clingy, some of them like want attention all the time. Like, and I think it's depending on how the parent reacts,
Yeah.
the baby gets used to a certain thing. We were saying it now with your niece Tuta.
Yeah.
Like the way she is, like she likes being sort of held, and she likes
Yeah.
certain things, and we give in.
So basically what Thais is saying, it's like that it's programming. So when we're young, like anything that we're exposed to, like it like it goes into our subconscious, and it like kind of fires and wires our neural pathways is what she's saying. So basically, for example, you have the secure attachment style, and they tend to have like easier relationships, or statistically they have the most success in relationships. Could never be us.
Really, honestly, I could never be. I was gonna say, don't manifest. I'm like, yeah, I'll go.
No, but look, honestly, you know, we'll get into this a little later, but like a secure attachment style definitely is the goal. Like it makes sense for like people who have a secure attachment style to have easier experiences with the relationships. But basically what she says is that people who have a secure attachment style were taught when they were young, like if I express my emotions, I get my needs met.
Yeah.
And like they feel safe to express their needs and their emotions, and it's safe to rely on other people. So they grow up trusting, they learn how to they know how to communicate, and they know how to rely on other people. So that's the secure attachment style.
Can't relate. Anyways, moving on. Should we talk about anxious?
The next one would be the insecure anxious.
Yeah.
Are there, I know there are different names and terms for them, right?
Yeah, but I think everyone knows anxious is anxious.
Anxious,
First of
yeah.
all, anxious gets such a bad rap. Like I feel so bad. Like between avoidant and anxious, I feel like avoidance come across as like cooler than anxious for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like
You know what? That's actually a good take. I do feel like in our society, we're kind of programmed to think like if someone's avoidant, they're cooler.
Yeah. Like, first of all, avoidants have mental illnesses. Okay, they can't communicate. They don't even want to feel anything. That's not cool at all. I'd rather, if I could pick between one or the other, I'd rather be anxious because that means first of all, I'm neither, but because it means I can express at least my emotions. I'm disorganized, of course I am, but like
But you know that anxious and avoidance tend to attract each other. They always fall into that pattern of like being in a relationship.
Of course.
And then the anxious kind of tries to hold on to the avoidant.
The
like
avoidant runs the other
pretty much
way.
like the sand, like, you know what I mean? What is it called? The sand of time?
Yeah, the sand of time, yeah.
Sand of time. Like when you're trying to hold it and it just goes through
yeah.
your, yeah. So, and I feel like previously we kind of knew it as the chaser runner dynamic.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yes,
what I was
yes,
thinking.
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
wasn't it like the runner chaser dynamic?
Also, I would argue that in today's TikTok term, wouldn't it be like black cat, the golden retriever?
Do you think so?
I think it plays a little
I don't
bit
know.
on
I
that.
don't think a golden retriever would be like, what would a golden retriever's attachment style be?
I think secure to anxious. Secure to anxious.
Yeah. And then the black cat would be avoidant.
Avoidant. I don't think
Avoidant, dismissive, probably.
Yeah,
dismissive avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then who did dismissive
who is the dismissive avoidant? Wait, no, we're anxious.
Yeah.
Who is the anxious attachment?
So anxious is, as per what science says,
Science.
the caregivers were inconsistent and sometimes loving, but then sometimes distant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think that would
they
mess
did
you up.
experience like warmth.
Mhm.
I think so. What I from my research, what I found is that it's probably like parents who were loving and warm, but were maybe had to like had long hours at work,
Yeah.
or
Too
were
busy.
not available or too busy, which is crazy.
And so like the kid grows up with a fear of abandonment because he feels like the love is just like he can't predict what he's gonna
Yeah.
get.
So they know love,
Mhm.
but it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then the dismissive avoidant.
Caregivers were fully and emotionally unavailable. Like, no, but also in saying that, they can be there for the kid, but still there's not a safe space for
Yeah.
the kid to express their emotions.
They're dedefinitely like they grew up neglected as a
Yeah.
child, like, and they were probably told like when they expressed emotions like toughen up, which
Mhm.
makes me kind of think because ultimately what happens with the dismissive avoidant, they become hyper independent.
Yeah.
They don't want to rely on anyone. They don't want to be vulnerable. So it kind of makes me think like, isn't that men? And they have commitment issues. Isn't that most men?
Yeah, no, you know what's so funny is when I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh la, dismissive avoidance literally are 90% of men nowadays. Like you talk to someone and they're unable to communicate their emotions, unable to communicate their needs. They shut down, they run away to their man cave. I'm like, yeah, that's literally you probably weren't taught how to express your emotions.
So yeah, I honestly would love to kind of like do a deep dive into that because it makes sense that like you're told to toughen up,
Mhm.
you're neglected, which I feel like a lot of times boys are because it's like, oh, he's a boy. You know what I mean?
Surreal.
Yeah. And they're taught from a young age. Like
Mhm.
I see it sometimes, like unfortunately, with my nephew as
Mhm.
well, like with my brother. And I don't think he means to do it. He's probably gonna hate me for calling him out.
Shout out,
Shout out
brother.
Ali.
Oh my God, I wasn't gonna name him like that, but okay,
Everybody
girl.
knows I have two brothers.
Shout out Ali.
Yeah. No, but he's realizing it now. So he's trying to validate Sammy's feelings. But like one time I did see him be like, La tebchi, real. And I'm like, he's 4. And even my mom, she was like, don't tell him that. Like let him express
Yeah.
what he's feeling. But I feel like my brother did that because it's generational. It's conditioning
Yeah.
from our parents, our grandparents, because boys are taught from a very young age, don't express emotion.
And also they're forced, I think, into an independence that's maybe overtly early.
Yeah.
Like you're expecting the kid to be like dependent on himself on his own. And it's like, this is a really small child. They don't have to be independent. They will be.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They'll run off.
But don't you think like men in general tend to be hyper independent, or like a lot of men grow up to be hyper independent?
Yeah.
Like it's me against the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially these days. So that's the dismissive avoidant. So they grow up and they tend to like dismiss other people's emotions because I think their emotions were dismissed, right?
Girl, they're not even in touch with their emotions. They're not even aware of them.
Like, they don't even know emotions.
No, but I mean, I don't want to. This is not a dump on men, but
it's some women are also
Yeah.
dismissive avoidance. It's not just men, but I'm just
more often
it's
than
kind
not.
of yeah.
I agree. More often than not, like not to hate on you guys, but yeah, more often than not, you see it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't even know how to express yourself or be aware of it.
Yeah. But we know a lot of men can also be anxious.
Yeah.
Insecure, anxious.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Zainab. Don't we not?
And the last one is fearful
Disorganized.
fearful avoidant. Yeah.
Fearful is disorganized.
Fearful avoidant, which is also disorganized, and it's a mix of the anxious and dismissive. Mia, would you like to tell us about the fearful avoidant?
So, as someone that is a disorganized, attached person, so okay, what tends to happen is that you have a childhood that's quite unpredictable. So you either have
Chaotic.
it's chaotic. Like either you have a lot of people that have a parent that's maybe volatile or has some issues like tend to become disorganized, or you fear that you're not going to get love from your parent, or sometimes you've been neglected, or there was like a trauma. There's something that happened in your early childhood that led you to being worried, So yeah.
And
Not all people though. There are some people that are disorganized and they necessarily have that. But
so fearful avoidance, like they have good experiences with love, but they also have very terrible ones, and that's why when they grow up, they tend to be the hot and cold partner.
Yeah. Why are you
pointing the finger at you? I'm like
She's hot,
the
cold.
hot cold
You're
partner.
hot cold.
Hot cold. So I asked my therapist, which I kind of knew this was my
Also, the disorganized is a self-sabotager because we like that control.
yeah.
Yeah. I can be my own hero, baby.
So I texted my therapist today just to confirm what my attachment style was. So I told her, I was like, what would you say my attachment style was when we first started? And have I conditioned myself towards a more secure attachment style? And she was like, you were insecure anxiety. You had insecure anxious attachment. And she was like, yes, you did. And you're still working on it.
Aww.
So I'm more, I've worked my way more towards the secure attachment.
I'm working as well.
Yeah. It honestly, like, it was a journey. Like it definitely was a journey, but the anxious tend to think that they're why are we still holding hands?
Why
not? The anxious tend to think that like there's a problem with me, that I'm not worthy of love. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that kind of feels relatable. Like when I first started therapy, that's how I felt. And now that I feel like I'm more secure, it's so liberating. She just let go of my hand, you guys. And now I'm like, does she not love me? Am I not worthy of her love? No, it's fine. We're not going to do the whole episode.
We're so doing the whole episode holding hands.
But yeah, it honestly, like, not to brag and be like,
Not to humble brag.
I'm secure now. You could never. No,
I'm better than everyone.
Alas, I'll add a hand cam throughout the whole episode.
We need a hand cam. Okay, can I have my hand
No.
back, please?
No.
I need it back.
No.
I
Give
really
it,
need
Sophie. Why are you acting you need it?
Yeah, but basically, like, working my way towards a more secure style has been so liberating, honestly. Just trying to let go of my hand.
Honestly, identifying my attachment style was key to realizing what I was doing. But then when I did, I was like, oh yeah, everything makes sense.
What did you think your style was? You thought you were dismissive avoidant?
Yeah, but I always thought like, okay, but I thought I was like avoidant. I was like, but I apply more to avoidance than anxious. But at the same time, I was like, okay, but avoidance are a little too avoidant. Like I'm a bit more self-aware.
No,
than this.
you're definitely not dismissive.
Yeah, like I'm not.
You're not at all.
I would argue like I'm avoidant, but I'm not gonna dismiss people's emotions. I'll dismiss my emotions.
You've definitely had your anxious moments too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I realized where I'm anxious and where I'm avoidant, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, disorganized makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense.
I thought I was fearful avoidant, but I was like, no, I'm definitely way more anxious.
Fearful avoidant is it's disorganized. Yeah.
Which is disorganized.
Mhm.
But I was like, no, I am definitely like 99% more anxious than I am dismissive avoidant. So I did some research on the statistics,
Oof.
global
Oof.
statistics
Numbers gal.
of I mean there isn't enough data for the region, unfortunately, which I would love to see, because I have some theories on, like, I don't know why I feel like a lot of people in the region might be more anxious.
Yeah, I agree.
But basically, the statistics say that globally, obviously, these are general. A lot of factors do affect these numbers. Like, it could be like geographical, cultural, whatever. But approximately 50 to 60% of individuals tend to display secure, 20 to 25 anxious, 20 to 25 avoidant, and the disorganized attachment is actually the least common one, with 5 to 10% of the population.
Woo!
So unique gal.
Unique gal.
She's like, even in my attachment style, I'm different. I'm
so
really
far.
different.
No, but okay, so if anxious and avoidant attract each other, who does disorganized attachment attract? I'm definitely not attracting secure people.
I don't know. I feel like you could attract either.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, can two dismissives be in a relationship with each other?
No.
Or too anxious? Oh my God.
Too anxious would be
anxious?
so crazy. I would rather be the too dismissive than too anxious is crazy.
Don't you feel like sometimes
You're not dating if you're too dismissives, by the way.
I'm an anxious, but I've also dated, I think, anxious, which kind of turned me away. And I don't know. I'm just realizing this now, where I'm like, we were both anxious about different things.
I think I'd rather the two dismissive than the two anxious together. So it's there's too much.
Too anxious to be
It's too
like,
much.
like, why didn't you call? Where were you? Who are you with? What are you doing? Why aren't you calling me back? Do you not love me? But I don't think mine was that bad, honestly. Like, my anxious attachment was never that bad. Like, I have self-respect.
No, but okay, hold up.
Attacking all people who have anxious
No, but hold up.
attachment.
I just okay. So see, this is why anxious get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh well, avoidance, شايفين نفسهم على الأقل.
Yeah. But also, I do think it's like a spectrum. It's not like all anxious people like show the same behavior. Don't you think?
I agree, but also like, let's just say what it is. Some people are selfish, some people are horrible. Like, that does not mean that they're avoidance, and some people are just overly clingy. That does not necessarily mean that they're anxious.
Yeah.
Like, personality traits are one thing, and like actual like signs that you display in relation to others are another. Like, I feel like people confuse them. Like, we love to sit there and analyze and be like, oh well, he called a lot, so he's clearly anxious. No, he could just be secure, but
Yeah.
his love language is talking and calling and all that.
It's definitely like nuanced. And
It's
there are a lot
very
of
nuanced.
layers to it. But it's very important to understand your attachment style, I
I think in conjunction with your attachment style, it's important to understand your love language. Because I
Yeah.
think both together, you can really get a better idea for the person.
100%.
And their star sign. But, you know, that's neither here nor there.
What? And the star sign?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not just the star sign, the full chart, babe.
And
I need to know where you're rising, your moon, your Mercury, your Venus.
oh, where's your Venus?
Where is your Venus?
Right now.
I'm your Venus.
I'm your
Fire. Your desire.
Wasn't that the Razor ad years
Yeah.
ago?
No, but
Yeah.
it's an actual song too.
I know.
Where is your Venus? Speaking of.
Capricorn.
Oh yeah, I know this about
Which
you.
is horrible because it's the complete opposite of my actual sun sign.
Do you know what my Venus placement is?
Is it Scorpio?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
You know,
It's just
I
disastrous.
spent a big chunk of my life hating on Scorpios, only to find out that I have so much Scorpio placement in my chart. So probably self-hatred. No, I'm kidding. I don't have self-hatred anymore. I actually appreciate Scorpios. I think Scorpios get a bad rep. Look at her. Look at me. She's like, Scorpios are devil.
I said
Where all
nothing.
my Scorpios at?
I don't hate any sign, but I just think, of course, Scorpio would be hating on a Scorpio.
Scorpio moon.
Scorpio moon,
Scorpio
Scorpio
moon,
Venus.
Scorpio Venus, Scorpio Mercury.
And your Mercury was in there as well.
Wait, hold on. Was my Mercury in Scorpio or Sagittarius? Hold on. Let me pull this up.
Pull the science.
Pull the signs up.
Wait, I was gonna say something.
Say it.
Oh, but also, you know what I'm really into? The MBTI. Not to veer off, but I want to know if you're an INFJ, an ENFP. Like, I want to know what you are.
I forgot what I was, honestly. Like, I need to redo it,
Do
but I
it.
think I was I'm not gonna make anything up. I'm gonna redo it.
I'm an ENFP, and like when you read about it, it's so Sagittarius coded.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my Mercury is in Scorpio, my Venus is in Scorpio, my Mars is in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces,
There's so much water. I can't.
Saturn in Sagittarius. I'm 70% water.
Which is crazy because the human is made of 80% water. So what are you, a
My
cucumber?
Uranus is in Sagittarius.
You're
My
what?
Neptune, Uranus.
No,
My
we can't.
Pluto is in Scorpio too. So I have
We need to scrap this.
I know.
This
No,
is
it's just conversation between us. So yeah, 70%
so
water.
much. You're so
And
emotional about things.
that's why, you know that song by SZA, Nobody Gets Me But You? That's me.
I
Also, this is why we're friends, because you have a lot of water and earth placement too.
have a lot of earth placement. I don't think I have more water than earth though.
But our moons are water.
Yeah.
Both our moons.
Please, I don't want to talk about my Cancer moon. She ruins everything.
She's compatible with my Scorpio moon too. Oops. Drop the surpass. Sorry, Lara. No, but
Respect to Allah.
respect to the law. No, but your Cancer moon is compatible with my Scorpio moon, and then your Earth placements are compatible with my water placements. That's why.
To our topic at hand.
Back to attachment styles. Just me talking about what I love the most.
She's like, I'm talking about astrology now.
Astrology. So yeah, I think it's very important to understand your attachment style, but I think more importantly is to also like see what you don't like about that and learn how you can like reprogram it, like learn the framework of how to kind of reprogram or recondition yourself to be
No, I agree.
to
agree.
reach an attachment style that you are more comfortable with, don't you think?
100%. I mean, I think we should all be striving to obviously be secure. I'm not telling you like change everything about your life, but ultimately, like, I think the issue is when we all found out about attachment styles, it was almost like a death sentence because you start being like, oh my God, this is what I am, and this is what you are, and everything makes sense. And yeah, but it's like, all right, great. Now let's change that. Like, let's
Yeah.
work towards being more secure, being less traumatized by our childhoods or خلاص, like,
Yeah.
once you identify the problem, you got to fix it.
Hot take.
What?
Secure attachment style is overrated.
For the love of God. What would you, okay, hold up. What would you rather? Okay, say, what would
Look, yes.
would you
in
rather
theory,
be anxious and be with someone that's secure? Or would you rather be secure and be with someone that's anxious?
I think if you were someone who was anxious and reconditioned yourself to be secure, I think you would still have parts of that. Like, it's also like muscle memory in a way.
Muscle.
Mhm.
Muscle.
Muscle. Exactly, that word. So I think you would kind of like remember what it was like to be anxious. Maybe sometimes you do tap into that like anxious, like subconsciously, like it might come out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I wouldn't mind being with someone who has somewhat of an anxious attachment, but obviously I think there are levels, like it varies. But at the same time, I think there is beauty to like insecurities and imperfections as well, because we're human at the end of the day. We're not meant to be perfect. You know what I mean? And I feel like our attachment styles like kind of tell a story about who we are as well. Don't you think?
No, I agree.
So yeah, well, in theory, it's probably preferable to be to have more of a secure attachment style, but in reality, I think there's beauty in having, I don't know.
Zainab's about to tell me she's romanticizing this. Well, I'm going to tell you
but
one thing.
because you tell me what your thoughts on my take, because I'm also gonna bring it back to Sex and the City and Gary Bradshaw.
Okay. So before you do that, I just want to say, as much as I understand and I agree, like, yeah, this is my story, la la. Listen, anxious and avoidant together is it. I'm so sorry. It's not a great ending. Like there's
Go to couples
always
therapy.
go to like you. There's always one chasing and the other one is in
Yeah.
denial. If you're dating a dismissive avoidant, well, guess what? You're probably not dating them because they're not even in touch with their feelings. They don't even know that they like you yet. They're probably stuck on the fact that they like you, and that's it.
Yeah.
They'll say things like, "Oh, I
or,
like you."
You know, I feel like dismissive avoidance probably realize that they like you or how much they like you when you're gone.
Yeah. So you
Because
know,
that's the love that they understand. I feel like, don't you think?
no, I agree. And then you have two avoidance dating, which is basically you're not dating. You're two avoidance. You're not doing. You're
Two emotionally
acquaintances.
unavailable people.
You're acquaintances at best, since you both can't communicate your feelings. Like, I don't like. What is it? Is it? It's. I don't know if it's the choices are between someone love bombing me and someone starving me emotionally until I die. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
No.
So back to Carrie Bradshaw.
Everyone's favorite villain of the moment.
She's, you know what? Like, I kind of jumped on board with everybody like villainizing Carrie Bradshaw, but now that I think about it, I'm like, was she really that bad? I mean, obviously, I think Carrie Bradshaw had an anxious attachment style.
Yeah, incredibly anxious.
But that's the thing. Like, was it Jared Freed on You Up when he
Yeah.
said he was like, maybe we love to hate on her so much because we like see ourselves in her, and it's cringy and it's hard to see that. Like, you know what I mean? Don't you think?
Completely agree.
But
with
also
the
at the same time, like, I love that she goes after big. Like, obviously, like, you know, it would be nice if she had a little more self-respect, but it's very human. You know what I mean? That, and she like, it's just raw emotions. Like, as humans, we're probably not thinking like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like nowadays people are just too strategic and too calculated with their approach, and there's not enough like people like following their heart.
The
I just love
issue-
that she follows her heart.
Listen, the issue is that I think we live in a very like TikTok world. Like everything
Yeah.
is black and white. Like if I go on TikTok now and make a 45-second video telling you every single thing the person that I dated did wrong, guess what? You'd villainize him. If the person I dated did the same thing, guess what? You'd villainize me. Like there is no black and white. Like we're all imperfect. And I think Carrie was a very realistic depiction of a human because she represents Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte. She's an amalgam of all of them.
Yeah.
So why are we so pissed off at her? Because she's the most realistic one? Because Samantha, Charlotte, and Miranda are unrealistic.
Yeah.
I don't know one person that's that extreme.
No, I don't think they're that unrealistic. I feel like I know some. I love Jared Freed's analogy where he was like, all of them are kind of like the little emotions characters in Inside Out.
Yeah,
Like each one kind of represents, and he did mention also that like everybody talks about how like Carrie was a bad friend, no, but he was like, all of them had their moments, and that's reality.
Yeah.
Like in reality, I'm not always gonna be a great friend to you. Like I will have my moments, right?
Yeah.
But and I think that's why Sex in the City made it so big. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why we love watching it. And that's why 20 years later to this day, more than 20 years later, we're still talking about
And
it.
it's still applicable. I mean, you watch the first episode of the show, and I swear to God, you're like, oh my God, there's no way we're having the same exact problems.
Yeah. In the first season, you know how they like break the fourth wall and talk to the camera? Did you like that?
No,
I didn't like that.
I thought it
They
was
stopped
weird.
did they stop it in season 1 or season 2?
I think they stopped it in season 2.
Yeah. It was very
It was
interesting.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was quite uncomfortable. But yeah, let's move on to changing
Yes.
your attachment style, because I know there previously was this misconception that you cannot change your attachment style, but now there are people who are saying no, you can actually change and recondition your attachment style.
Okay, so I think the first step is to probably figure out where you sit. You know, if you're more anxious, like, do you fear being abandoned? And then why? Or do you fear being perceived too much? And then why? Like, I think you have to figure out where you lean on the scale, you
Yeah.
know? That's definitely the first step for me.
Yeah. I also do feel like there's not like a one size fits all approach
No.
to it. You know what I mean? I think that's something that I mean, if you figure out your attachment style and you're like, I don't like being like this, I want to change, I want to be more secure or less of my attachment style. You know what I mean? Or maybe I just want to understand how this is affecting me, or how it's making me feel, or how it's even affecting different aspects of my life. get a therapist.
I agree.
Go to therapy.
I agree.
Your therapist is going to help you figure that out.
And also, I think obviously, whenever we think of attachment styles, we think of it in like terms of a romantic relationship, but it's also something that really affects us with our family and our friends. So it's definitely worth having conversation with the people surrounding you.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because it can also go as far as even affecting how you are in the workplace
Yeah,
and also how you are financially.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
You
Like
know,
it affects different aspects of our lives. So
that's how I know I lean more towards avoidant in my disorganized style, because I tend to like not be in denial, but sort of like try to push things away, and I don't want to think about them. I don't want to deal with them
yeah.
until they sort of drown me. So it's like, I don't know. I realized I was this way this year, probably like literally 2025. I was like, wait a second. I have like,
Mm.
my issue isn't that I'm avoidant, that I'm fearful avoidant. Like, I'm fully disorganized. And it
Yeah,
shows.
because I remember you'd always be like, I'm avoidant, I'm avoidant.
Yeah.
But I was like, not really. You had a lot of anxious moments as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know. I don't know. For me, at least, it's been key to sort of dealing better with my approach to things, even like with admin, with like paperwork things, with like,
Yeah.
with work things. Like, and now that I've sort of figured that out a bit more, I'm trying to get myself to a state that's just more stable in general. Because I always complain about a feeling of like instability. And I realized, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, but I also am not helping myself, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But like you said, like it does affect different aspects of our lives. But I also think like I really would love more research and more data that is more related to our region, because obviously there are different factors that affect it. Like there's the culture, there's the society, and I would love to look into like how the societal changes, because as millennials we obviously have very different experiences than our boomer parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're going through a lot of changes, like gender role
So then
changing.
older millennials and younger millennials, like even that, like I feel like it's like worlds apart, the
Yeah.
experience. And as someone that's like of the youngest millennials, like like very like Gen Z coded at times, I even see it in how you and I perceive
Mm,
things differently.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so basically I just feel like that can also like these different, like all these changes that are happening can I think lead to more anxious attachment styles. Like because there's like I said, like your gender roles are changing, society is changing so quickly, like drastically. Like I would even argue like we probably live in a very completely different society than our parents did. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, and then you have also the cultural aspect, which is like the
Yeah, the
pressures,
social
the social
expectation.
expectations, and all of these things. So, I would love to see how these affect our attachment style, and also having a nanny.
Mm.
I'm sure that affects the way kids are, like especially like I would love to see like maybe Gen Z or Gen Alpha as well.
Hmm.
Like how are their attachment styles, because I'm sure like now people are leaning more towards like getting nannies and leaving their kids with nannies. So how does that affect the children?
And even nurses. So a lot of my friends will have kids and the nurse is with the kid 24/7. Like the nurse is always there, and my friends aren't always there because they can't. You know,
Yeah.
they have things to do. They have just obligations, and it makes it easier. But I'm like, is the kid now going to be more, is the baby more attached to the nanny
But the
or
but
to the mom?
the kid knows that that's their parent.
Yeah, no, obviously.
You know what I mean? The kid knows that the nanny or the nurse is not their parent. So obviously, like, even if they're attached more to the nurse, I'm sure that creates some sort of like abandonment issue. That's not to say like we're against nurses or
No, on the
getting nannies.
contrary.
No, I believe like if you have the means to get a nurse and a nanny for your kid, relax, like get that help.
Yeah.
And it's a great privilege to
Yeah.
have that help. A lot of people, but like at the same time, I think I'm not a mother. I don't know how hard it is to be a mother. I only see my sister-in-law and the things that she goes through, and it's really hard. But I think it's also great for parents these days to not forget that their kids need to see them. Their kids need to bond with them. Just because you have
Mm.
that help. I mean, I don't know who am I to preach about this, but I don't know. Don't you think
No,
there's
I
something
agree
to be
because
said there?
the psychology. So this is my problem. It's like you get from 0 to 2, you're glued to this person. And then after 2 years old, that's it. She can no longer be your nurse, and she's not really a nanny. She's an actual nurse. She disappears from your life.
Yeah.
I don't know what the psychology is going to be on that. I can't imagine what that's going to be like. And especially because, for example, the nanny that raised me was with us for age. Like I was going off to university, and like I wasn't attached to the hip to her anymore. And slowly I was unbonded to her, but also like she was more like my mom's assistant rather than my nanny. Like I was always with my mom.
Yeah.
And she would assist. And even I remember my dad once said, he was like, not all moms, he's like, not all moms do that, Mia. You realize you're lucky that your mom gives you so much attention, even with help. And I do agree, because I never was more bonded to my nanny. And you see kids nowadays, they go crying to their nanny instead of crying to their mom. So I wonder if that's going to change attachment styles entirely.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to have like a fifth thing, a fourth thing? Like what's gonna
No,
happen?
and it's crazy now because like I think back in the day, our parents obviously weren't raised by nannies
No.
or nurses. And then I think as millennials, maybe that's when it started being more of a thing.
Yeah.
But I think Gen Z, most of them probably
raised by
had
nannies.
nurses, nannies
In the region, for sure.
in the region.
The region, for
So
sure.
I really wonder what that has done to our society. I would really love someone to explore this. I would love an expert to come on the pod and we talk about this.
Yeah.
But we
Here's
don't
to
have
you,
experts.
expert, if you're watching.
Here's to you. We don't have experts. We only have your opinions, which we are about to get into right now. Do you want to get into Let's Get Spicy? Let's get spicy. So we asked you guys actually a couple of questions. I think 3 questions or
As
4
usual.
questions, as usual, about attachment styles. And here are your responses. Also, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, we do these questions every Friday. We do polls. They're very fun. We get a lot of insight, and then we share them on the pod.
So the first question we asked was, how do you react when someone pulls away? And 34% said give them space but low-key panic. 36% said pull away too, match the energy. 23% said act like I don't care, but I do. And then 7% said chase them a spiral. Where do you think you are?
Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I voted. I'm trying to find, because I thought I said give them space but low-key panic.
I definitely did that.
I think I said act like I don't care but low-key panic, probably. Act like I don't care, but I do. I think that's what I put. Yeah, act like I don't care.
They're similar, but they're not the same.
They're not the same, because I don't panic. I'll just be like, I don't care, but I care.
Yeah.
But I'm not panicking.
For me, I give them space because I'm like, okay, if that's how you're gonna be, I don't want to do anything with you. But also, look, I'm like, but why are they being like that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't care. But also, like, yeah, like,
Do
it's
they
like,
love me? Do they hate me?
no,
Do they
it's
not
not
love
that.
me?
It's
But I
not.
think that's panic. Isn't that panic?
It's not panic, but it's more like I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? But also,
Why?
like, I'm about to give you so
Why?
much space. It's about to be a freezer in here. It's gonna be that cold.
You're like, oh, you want space? I'll give you space.
I'll take you to the next galaxy.
She's like, let's
Insane
explore the
behavior.
Milky Way.
Can we talk about how give them space below key panic and pull away to match the energy is like so tied?
It's the biggest chunk.
Yeah.
Most people voted for that. Should we get into the next question?
Yeah.
And then the next one we asked was, how do you show love? And 36% said big gestures and deep conversations. 32% said no clue, I just vibe.
I hate that. I hate that. Like, what are you
Was
doing?
that you?
No.
Okay.
That's so mean.
And then 24% said constant check-ins and thinking of you texts. And then 9% said giving space and letting them come to me.
9% are so avoidant. They're like, I'm not going to do anything.
Do you
I like
think
you.
that's avoidant? I don't know if that would be avoidant. Like,
Giving them space and letting them, like, doing nothing, essentially. You show love by doing nothing? I don't know. Who am I to judge? I'm not here to judge.
what did I vote? I'm trying to figure out what I voted here.
I'll tell you what, I like showing love with conversation. Like, I think when I really like someone, like, I want to hear
Yeah.
their takes on things and I want to know how they feel about things. Like, I feel like that's a big thing for me. Like, I want
Is
to
that what you
deepen it.
voted?
Yeah. Although big gestures, I was like, what's a big gesture? But I guess being fun, you know? Like,
Oh my God. You want to guess what I voted?
yes.
No clue. I just vibe.
Of course you I'm judging you so hard for I'm like, you just vibe. You don't know?
No,
You don't know?
I know.
Just here for the
I
vibes.
like deep
Good vibes only.
conversations. I think big gestures and deep convos, but I don't do like big gestures.
Big
Like, you know
gesture.
what I
Like
mean?
I was like, I don't have to something for big gestures. Is like I'm like, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I love quality time
Yeah.
and deep conversations. You know me. I love my deep talks.
And then for how fast you get attached, 56% said slowly. Trust takes time. I just want to say I'm so proud of you guys. I agree. Please, people falling in love in 2 weeks. I don't want to see
No, please, no love bombing.
it. Instantly, I overshare in 5 minutes was 20%. Of course, like it had to be followed by that. 16% said I fight attachment like it's my job, and 8% says I don't do attachment. Next, are you guys okay? Your mom did not hug you as a child. I know it's tough out here.
And then we asked you guys, what is your attachment style? And 35% said secure. Love feels safe, no stress. 33% said anxious, just as I thought. And then 19% said fearful, avoidant, love me, but not too much. And then 12% said avoidant, feelings I'd rather not. What do you think about these?
I'm willing to believe that 30%, 35% are secure. The 33, 12, and 19.
I don't know. I feel like people confused avoidant with
fearful
fearful
avoidant.
avoidant
Yeah.
because a lot of people said fearful avoidant. I honestly, it might be on us also because we probably didn't elaborate. But yeah, I think it's interesting that we have 33%
That are anxious.
that
yeah.
are anxious.
That's close to the 35 that are secure.
Yeah.
But
I
also it
told you.
adds up.
It makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
And finally, we asked you guys, if your attachment style was a movie, what would it be?
Someone said dream for an insomniac.
I think this is literally like the girly pop is like, I'm staying awake thinking of this person. With that,
Was that it? I don't know.
someone said Jennifer Aniston and he's just not that into you. Rough. This is the market we're in right now, guys.
Yeah.
This is the market.
There was one that said Scary Movie 3.
I love that verse so much.
What's going on? Please, I need more details of what you're going through right now. Because it's giving comedy, horror, like what is it?
Someone said Fatal Attraction.
Fatal?
Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? What's your favorite one?
This was my favorite. I direct the movie. It'd be called My Ex-Girlfriend's Ego is Killing Me.
Honestly, real.
Let her go.
Yeah.
Let her go.
She's not worth it.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this you? No, I know it's not you, but I feel like this would be your favorite.
yeah.
Princess Diaries, just focusing on me and close family and close friends.
First of all,
And close friends are at a distance.
yes. The Princess Diaries is accurate. That is
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Mia Thermopolis for the win. For
Yeah.
the crown.
Let's ask Tarek.
Yeah, Tarek.
If your attachment style was a movie, what would it be called?
Looking gang related.
Gang related, of course. Of course. A Tupac fan has spoken.
Someone said Tupac was cosplaying gangster and they had the footage to prove it, and I'm gonna send you that footage.
And that
He
just
used to be a
explains-
ballerina.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He used to.
I honestly, he was kind of a girly pop. Like he was for the girls, so I don't know what happened.
Well, after he lost, he got shot in a very sensitive place. He became gangster.
I can be your Tupac, baby.
All right. Do you have any parting words or concluding takes?
No. Do you?
No.
No.
That's
I've
all.
said enough. I've said all I
Have
had
you
to
said
say.
No, honestly, I feel like there are obviously different scenarios that we could dive into in the future.
Yeah.
I would love to like do a more of a deep dive in
Yeah.
this topic. This was more of a general
Yeah.
conversation. We're just introducing it,
Mhm.
but definitely agree that it's very important to know your attachment style. I think it's very important to learn things about yourself.
It's important to learn things about yourself and heal
Yeah.
whatever needs to be healed. I think a lot of us just walk around with the traumas of what happened to us in the first
And
10 years of our
projecting
life.
them on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to be introspective.
Yeah.
And look inwards and try to heal
Yeah.
that inner child.
And as Onai just says, If anyone wants me, they gotta give me money.
They gotta
Apparently.
give me my. I'm not talking
Till y'all give me
until y'all give me
$10,000. Like, wow.
in cash in my pockets. I am eyeing these cheese puffs like it's nobody's business. But yeah, I think I'm trying to. I'm.
You just want to eat. All right, let's
I just
wrap
wanna
it
eat.
up. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. I just want to eat these puffs.
Let us know your guys' attachment style and what you're doing to heal yourself. Please let us know. Disorganized people, where are my people at?
Where
How
my
are
people
we?
at?
How are
Where
we
my
organizing? How are we organizing? Please.
The 5 to 10%.
I cannot believe we're that rare.
Honestly,
we're
all
exclusive.
my insecure, anxious people, please put your hands up. Which I'm pretty sure is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the time we have today for attachment styles.
But more importantly, if you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. Anything less than 5 stars and you're not secure. Also, I just want to say, guys, a lot of you are watching and not liking or subscribed. I'll find you.
Mia will find you and harass you.
I'll be at your door.
All right, you guys, we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.